really breaks my heart. Cause we've been lied to, misled for years, calling out to the Most High on this trail of tears. Hiya, 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 hiya.
Shalom. All right, we got a lesson today. We pray that it be edifying to the hearers of the word. We'll get right into it. The title of this lesson is going to be, Don't Look Back Now, We're Almost There. Don't look back now, we're almost there. So, we know in these times, we're in the last days, and for centuries, people been saying, we're in the last days. And it's like a cliche to people now as to where they're like, hey, they've been saying that for years. They've been saying that since my grandmother's time. So they even said it in Paul's time, and in Paul's time, it said that those was the last days. So even so we know with that being said, if it was last days then, you didn't get that? No. Oh, okay. If it was the last days then, how much, centuries done passed, how much more even closer are we now? So, with that being said, it's like, as we always say, this is a marathon, not a sprint. And you don't run a marathon just to get 100 feet away from your destination, from the goal, and throw the towel in, or go back, or look back. So, with the title being Don't Look Back Now, we're almost there. So we got some scriptures we're gonna go into, obviously. So we'll read the first commentary of this subject.
Don't look back now, we're almost there. The Father's mercy is on its way. It is time to cheer up and properly find out within ourselves what is needed for us to receive the kingdom to come. We must stay motivated to learn the ways of the Father. What's promised is indescribable. But do we believe in the promise? We will go over a few promises of the rewards to come in order to awake ourselves to how much we will actually be missing out on due to wanting to be part of this decayed kingdom known as the beast system.
So this is a decayed kingdom, America, which is the daughter of Babylon, as we know it's a decayed kingdom. It's a kingdom, but nonetheless, but it's a decayed kingdom. It's a kingdom just like Egypt was. It's a kingdom just like Babylon was. It's a king just like Rome was. It's a superpower, but it's a decaying kingdom because it was given over to Satan. With the fall of Adam, the earth was given over to Satan, which was the earth initially was created for the Israelites, as we know. But this is a decaying kingdom in the beast system. The beast being the empires that's mentioned in the book of Daniel and also in the book of Revelations. So, but it says the Father's mercy is on its way. So mercy for who? It's mercy for us, mercy for the righteous, mercy for the Israelites. His mercy is on the way for us because it's going to be a relief from all the anguish that we've gone through. It's going to be a relief from all the turmoil. It's going to be a relief from us being spoiled and robbed and stolen from. So the only one who can deliver us from this anguish is Christ and the Almighty Father. So, it's a lot that we're going through that, throughout centuries, since we suffering the curses of Deuteronomy 28, is where it's like, man, when is the relief gonna come? When is Christ gonna crack that sky and come and deliver us? Well, for the righteous, it's gonna be glorious. But for those who not living righteously, it's gonna be turmoil and bad for you as well. Because you're gonna be a group of people that will be damned in his coming, in his second coming. So let's get the first set of scriptures. We're going to Zephaniah and 2 and 1. Zephaniah 2 and 1. So we can get into this. So when Christ come and the Father, YASHIYA, or God, when Christ come to redeem us, it's not going to be mercy for a lot of people. A lot of people think, when Christ come back, it's a lot of misconceptions out there. So it's going to be a lot of people think it's going to be roses and happiness and this and that. And the scriptures tell us it's going to be a day of darkness. It's going to be a day of, him coming to bring judgment. But let's go to Zephaniah 2 and 1. And y'all there say, come. Go ahead, Al.
Zephaniah chapter 2, verse 1. Gather yourselves together. Gather together, O nation not desired.
O nation not desired. So that nation not desired is us. That nation not desired is Israel. That nation not desired is the lost sheep of the house of Israel in these places of captivity. So when you hear us say Israel, we're not talking about the state of Israel. We're not talking about the territory of Israel that's known in the world. We're talking about the people. So when you hear us say Israel, we're speaking of the people that's in captivity, the people that came over here on cargo slave ships, the people that the scriptures prophesied that would be, placed in bondage and captivity in a land that they didn't know. So when we speak of Israel, we're speaking of not the territory, but the people, that being us. Start from the top again.
Zephaniah chapter 2, verse 1. Gather yourselves together. Gather together, O nation that desire. Before the decree bring forth, before the day pass as the shaft, before the fierce anger of the Messiah come upon you, before the day of the Messiah's anger come upon you. Seek ye the Messiah, O ye meek of the earth, which have wrought his judgment. Seek righteousness, seek meekness. It may be, ye shall be hid in the day of the Lord's anger.
The day of the Lord's anger. So like I said, when Christ returns, it's not going to be, a lot of smiles on people's faces, contrary to what people believe. It's not going to be a day of just relief. It's going to be a day of darkness. And the scriptures tell us when Christ returns, the lights it would be no more light. It would be no more sun. The sun is an angel. It will be, which is the greater light. The moon, it will be no more moon. The moon is a great light, but it's the lesser light of the sun and the moon. It will be no more luminaries. So the stars, which are angels, they are going to come off of their post in a sense, and it'll be none but utter darkness. So I don't know if you ever been in utter darkness before. I've been in caves before, and I've been in places. It's a difference between being in utter darkness and just a room where it's darkness. I've been in caves before where you can't even, it's zero penetration of light from the outside, and you can't even really fathom that it can even be that dark. So imagine that. If at nighttime you got street lights, so on and so forth, but if you ever been in the country, it's pretty dark. There's no street lights, but take that moon away. Take the luminaries away, and it'll be utter darkness, but the only light will be Christ. And you'll be able to see him going across the earth, taking down the empires. But if you wanted 144,000, you'll be warring right alongside with him. So that's what we're seeking to be. You understand? So, but it says a decree which is an official order by an authority. So the Most High is that authority. So, when he says, son, go down there and redeem your people, that's what he's going to do. That's the decree that the scriptures are speaking of. So it's like, and like it tells us that Christ don't even know the day that he's returning. So a lot of people don't understand that with modern day Christianity teaching that Christ and God are the same individuals, are the same person, and that's false. They're two different entities. The Christ which is the Son, the Most High God, YASHIYA, which is the Father, and then the Holy Spirit, which is the Ruach. It's just like a family. But in modern day Christianity, they teach you God and Jesus are the same. That's the scriptures don't tell you that. They not rightfully divine the word of truth. So Christ himself don't even know the day he returned. You know, we got a brother in the church who always, mention like, today, Father, today, like he's ready to leap down. He's like, no, not today, son, not today. He's like, today, is it today? Because he's ready to come redeem us. You know, our King is ready to come redeem us because he see the things that we're going through. He see the anguish that we're going through. He see them killing us in the streets. He see all of that. He see the disease and pestilence that's upon us. So he want to come redeem us. But prophecies has to be fulfilled. And ultimately, it's the Father, YASHIYA, will for everything that's being done to us and everything that goes on. It's like a major chess game, and he knows the end to all. So Christ don't even know. So, he like, hey, today is the day. Can I, like, no, not yet, son, not yet. But our King will come and redeem us. Where you was at, bro?
Verse 4.
All right, go on to that. Verse 4, pick up.
Verse 4. For Gaza shall be forsaken, and Ashkelon a desolation. They shall drive out Ashdod as the noonday, and Ekron shall be rooted up.
So these cities here are still in existence for Gaza. We know over there, bordering Israel, you got Gaza, and you got Palestine, and you got some of these other cities. So that's how you know the scriptures are true. These cities still in existence right now. So these are all cities that's near Jerusalem right now at this point, even to this day. Go ahead.
Verse 5. Woe unto the inhabitants of the sea coast, the nation of the Sherethites. The word of the Most High is against you. O Canaan, the land of the Philistines, I will even destroy thee, that there shall be no inhabitant.
So he's going to wipe all of them out. So even the Philistines, he's going to wipe them out. He's going to wipe all these countries that's over there fighting right now for our land, which isn't even their land. Like you got the Palestinians and the who is it that's always fighting against each other? Saudi Arabia, yeah, but the ones that's always fighting over Israel. Israel and the Palestinians, yeah, they always warring, trying to see, it's neither one of their land. But we're not to be in that land because it's defiled now. It's defiled, from them. They say the Israel, the territory of the land is worse than Las Vegas. So we're not even to go into that land because our King going to lead us into that land when the new heaven and earth comes into existence. Go ahead.
Verse 6. The sea coast shall be dwellings and cottages for shepherds and folds for flocks. And the coast shall be for the remnant of the house of Judah. They shall feed thereupon in the house of Ashkelon. They shall lie down in the evening. For the Most High their power shall visit them and turn away their captivity.
Go ahead.
I have heard the reproach of Moab and the revealings of the children of Ammon, whereby they have reproached my people and magnified themselves against their border.
Just like I was saying, they over in them borders that in the land we not in now. Go ahead.
Therefore, as I live, said the Most High Power of hosts, the power of Israel, surely Moab shall be as Sodom, and the children of Ammon as Gomorrah.
So we know Moab and Ammon are the modern day Palestinians and Jordanians. So that's who Moab and Ammon is in nationality. In time now, they're the Palestinians and the Jordanians. Go ahead. So he's saying he's going to wipe them out like Sodom and Gomorrah. Like the way the Most High brought fire to Sodom and Gomorrah, they say if you go over to that land right now, you still smell sulfur in the air. Nothing can grow there. That place that was thousands of years ago, and that place still is desolate. Nothing can grow there. It's still sulfur and death smelling in the air. Go ahead.
Surely Moab shall be as Sodom, and the children of Ammon as Gomorrah, even breeding of nettles and sulphits, in the perpetual desolation.
Perpetual desolation, like I just said. Go ahead.
The residue of my people shall spoil them, and the remnant of my people shall possess them. This shall they have for their pride, because they have reproached and magnified themselves against the people of the Lord of hosts.
So they have had pride and reproach against God's children. You understand? So they know. So even if we don't know, we the children of Israel, and we living in ignorance, and we in captivity, and not knowing we the lost sheep of Israel, everybody else in the world knows. Everybody else in the world, we tell people this a lot when we street speaking, that everybody knows who we are, So if you don't know, the whole time they've been knowing and they've been passing it down. So they're capitalizing off of our ignorance. When you go to these gas stations and guys go in there, they buy their liquor in these liquor stores and buy all these all the things for their iniquities. Those quote unquote Middle Eastern guys in there, they know who we are. They know they selling whatever to the children of Israel, but it's for their gain right now. Right now it's for their gain. It's for them to capitalize off of it because we in ignorance. We in captivity. Now. They could say, hey, you the children of Israel, but most of our people don't even care. We don't even care to see who our master is. Go ahead, go into the next commentary.
With these prophecies coming to pass, the Father commanded us to come together. This is not time for division. We should be united under his Son to fulfill his will in this earth, not divided under all manner of ideology and offenses. This is not time to look for an excuse to turn back to sin either.
So it says it's a time for us to come together. So do you think that means coming together as like just citizens or just black folks or just minorities? No, it's not necessarily speaking of that. It's talking about coming together as a church. We're supposed to unite as a church, not unity with those in the world. If we got all the minorities together and say we're gonna unite based off of us just being minorities, we won't get nowhere because they not worshiping the Father. So it's speaking of uniting as a church, coming together as a church. Then it says, let me see. Go to the next section. We're going to go to Mark 13 and 12. Mark chapter 13, verse 12. I lost my thought for a second. So Mark chapter 13, verse 12. Go ahead, bro.
Mark chapter 13, verse 12. Now the brother shall betray the brother to death, and the father the son, and the children shall rise up against their parents, and shall cause them to be put to death.
So it's saying the brother shall betray the brother, and the father the son. That's speaking of, those that are in this walk. Those that are in this walk, it's going to come a time when, while we're to be set apart now, it's going to come a time when persecution comes, where it's going to be, we're going to have to be martyred and persecuted just like Christ and the disciples were. So, we already know we got a plan to come out of my people, as the scriptures say. So we're going to be looking to leave Babylon. We're going to be looking to leave America. We're going to be looking to, because we know the prophecy, what the prophecies say about the destruction that's coming. So the scriptures say, come out of her, my people, or, you're going to fall along with her calamities as well. So, but it's going to be people when the military rounding them up, and they don't have nothing to eat, and it's going to be survival. Your own people going to be telling the powers that be, the military, hey, I know where some Israelites at. This is spoken of. Hey, my son is an Israelite. Man, I'll tell you where he at. They're going to give you up. The brother going to be coming against the brother. The father against the son, just like it said. Continue.
Verse 13. And ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake.
We're going to be hated for Christ's name for all man's sake, because Christ was hated. Go ahead.
But he that endure unto the end, the same shall be saved.
But he that endures until the end, the same shall be saved. So like I said, it's a marathon. You understand? So when people in Christianity saying they saved and, oh, I'm saved and I was baptized at 8, what you saved from? Because we're not even at the end. What we're going through right now is nothing compared to what we're going through. People will be like, yeah, you know, I'm in this truth, you know, and I'm in this walk, but, you know, and I'm going through this and that, and you know, I said it a few weeks ago, over a month ago, I was like, we're not going through anything right now. What we're going through right now is nothing compared to when they shut the lights off. It's nothing compared to when they take away all our luxuries. You know, right now, we just kind of, you know, we dealing with a little bit of strife, you know. But when it really goes down, that's when your faith really gonna be tested. That's when we're gonna see how, you know, the Most High gonna really see how girded up we are, how armored up we are, you know. And that's what we're preparing for now. That's why we keep the feast days. That's why we keep the Sabbath. So because we girding ourselves up now. That's why we fast to kill our flesh. So when these things arise, it's like, oh yeah, it was like a dress rehearsal. This is like a dress rehearsal. We was doing this already. So now, and plus we understand the prophecy, so we looking for these things to happen. These are signs. Go ahead.
Verse 14. But when ye shall see the abomination of desolation, spoken by Daniel the prophet, standing where it ought not, let him that readeth understand. Then let them that be in Judea flee to the mountains. And let him that is on the housetop not go down into the house, neither enter therein to take anything out of his house. And let him that is in the field turn back again, not turn back again, for to take up his garment.
So verse 15 saying, let him that is on the housetop not go down into the house. So that means, you know, in a sense, it's like, don't get ready, be ready. So it's telling you, you know, because when Christ comes, it's going to be like a thief in the night. So that's telling you, don't go in, don't be like Lot's wife. When the angels came and said it was destruction coming to Sodom and Gomorrah, you know, in a sense, she was, you know, they were probably dilly-dallying. They was lollygagging like, oh, let me get this, let me gather this. And the angels were saying, no, you got to go now. You got to leave with what you have on your back. You got to be prepared. So you don't get ready. You got to be ready. You got to make haste. And that's pretty much what it's telling you right there. Is don't look to gather things. Don't look to say, oh, we got to, you know, because we got to be like pilgrims at that time. We got to go and we got to, because we know this is the same thing the children of Israel dealt with when they fled Egypt. When they left Egypt, you know, they had to make haste. You know, go ahead. That was it for that? That was it. All right, go ahead.
We are once again being surrounded by military, and now more than ever, we must learn to hang in there together. Those that look back at that time fell victim to the looters and murderers among our own people, including family. The other fell back to the sword by the other nation and went into slavery. So that's how we ended up being in slavery in Africa. Because the above scripture in Mark said, well, when you see Jerusalem compassed with armies, fleeing Judea, fleeing to the mountains. So that's how we ended up in Africa. You know, Rome, right after 70 AD, Rome came into Israel and they sacked us and we went and fled. We went and fled amongst people that looked like us. So that's how we ended up in Africa. So we fled into the Atlas Mountains in Africa. So it's telling you right here, where it say your own family, where it say? The middle part said,
the commentary.
It said, those that look back at that time fell victim to the looters and murderers among our own people, including family.
Yeah, so your natural family, as we mentioned above in Mark, is going to give you up. But your church family is going to be your new family. You know, your church family are going to be your brothers and sisters. The elderly are going to be the ones you respect. So it's going to be your aunts and uncles and all of those types that's going to be, this is what, it's not nothing I'm saying, this is what the scripture's saying. So, you know, you don't want to fall by the sword, so you're going to have to cleave to your church family. And that's another reason why, you know, thank the Most High for his mercy why Christ hasn't returned, because he's given us a chance to get it right. You know, that's the ultimate thing, is for us to get it right. Because America is not our place of rest. It's our place of repentance. But we done been woven into the mindset like, you know, we supposed to get all we can get here. You know, we supposed to get all the accomplishments that, you know, we can achieve here for what American society deems a successful life. We all fell to that. We all grew up with that mindset of prosperity. You know, I had that mindset, like, man, you know, I would like to have this and that one day. And there's nothing wrong with having things. There's nothing wrong with having things that you desire. There's nothing wrong with that. But it can't be the end all be all. Are you going to be willing to part with that when what it's saying, Jerusalem compassed with armies? Are you going to be willing to part with that when the military, when there's boots on the ground? You know, you see that in a lot of places overseas where you'll see a migration of people leaving Turkey, going somewhere else, and they just uprooted and left everything. In America, our mind is not even trained to do that. Our mind not even trained to do that. You doing Katrina, you had people trying to save flat screen TVs, walking through 6 feet of water. Our mind not even trained to do that. You know, we feel like, oh, I work for this. You know, I'm not gonna give this up. It's like, and like the elder told us before, that car you driving, when it goes down, somebody else gonna drive that car. That house you in, somebody else gonna live in that house. That bank account, somebody else gonna spend that money, because that's what the beast system is. So when it goes down and they start chipping people, you're gonna say, man, I got so many thousands in the bank. They're gonna say, well, the money is still yours. You just gotta take this chip. And subconsciously our mind thinks like, well, it's my money. I ain't gonna just let it go to waste. And we'll concede to taking the chip. That's what we finna be facing soon. You know, instead of just saying, you know what, I'll take my chances with the Most High. I'll take my chances with living righteous and having faith and understanding what's the reward in store for me. And that's what this lesson is about, is receiving your reward at the end. Because we live in a society and a culture where it's like we want everything now. I don't want to have to wait and think of what I could get. But the reward that we got coming in store is far greater. Go ahead. Yeah, we're going to James 1 and 21. We're going to James 1 and 21. So yeah, that's the mindset we have to be in this walk, because even in modern day Christianity, all they teach is prosperity. That's all they teach. Why are you trying to prosper in a world, in a society that's about to be destroyed? You know, why are you trying to teach prosperity, knowing that the government is, and the monetary system the financial system is going to fold at any minute? So we're going to James 1 and 21. Go ahead.
James chapter 1 verse 21. Wherefore lay apart all filthiness and superfluity of naughtiness, and receiving with meekness the engrafted word, which is able to save your souls. But be ye doers of the word, and not hearers only, deceiving your own selves.
It says, be ye doers of the word and not hearers only. So that means don't be a hypocrite, you know. Don't, you know, and that's what we all professing for, is to be perfect in the eyes of the Most High. With society, if you keep the law and you know, you're deemed perfect in the eyes of the Most High. You deemed perfect in the eyes of God. But society teaches us what? Nobody's perfect. You understand? When that's a falsehood. So you won't be perfect according to their scale, or you won't be perfect according to what they consider perfect. But if you keep the law, you're perfect. So when it said, but be ye doers of the word and not hearers only, you can hear the word, you can hear the law, you can hear the scriptures. That's just hearing it. But are you a doer? So like I said, this is why grace is so important, because we got a chance to get it right. And we're doing that every day. What I failed at today, tomorrow I have a chance to try to get right. Because like Paul said, I die daily. So you got to kill that old man every day. You might have a perfect day, but then tomorrow your flesh is going to rise up again, and you got to kill that carnal man all over again tomorrow. So that's why most people stumble, because they like, man, you know what, I can't do this, I can't be perfect, I can't be this. Yes, you can. You just have to bear down. You have to get it in your mind and in your psyche, like, you know what, I'm gonna follow these laws. And if I follow these laws, I'm perfect in the eyes of the Most High. And it's like, always when I pray, I always thank Christ for being an intercessor, because I could just see him being up there, because a lot of times, you know, the Most High just wanted to do away with Israel. And I know Christ up there like, look, Father, they trying. They keeping the law. They keeping the holy days. Look at these brothers. Look at these sisters. Look, we just came out of the wilderness last week for tabernacle. You understand? Most people not doing that. Most people not doing tabernacle in the wilderness. But we're doing that. We're going through those things because, like I said, it's like a dress rehearsal. So I know Christ up there like, look, Father, they trying. They're doing and keeping the law as perfect as possible. You know, and with all the things that's facing us, it's hard. It's like persecution is upon us right now, you know, and it's hard. Continue, go ahead.
Verse 23. For if any be a hearer of the word and not a doer, he is like unto a man beholding his natural face in a glass.
So he is just like somebody who's just going through the motions and just like looking at yourself. There's no results, no righteous results coming from you. Go ahead.
For he beholdeth himself, and goeth his way, and straightway forgetteth what manner of man he was.
Right, so he'll forget that he's supposed to be walking in righteousness, and he'll fall back to his old ways. That's being a hearer of the word and not a doer. Go ahead.
But whoso looketh into the perfect law of liberty.
The perfect law of liberty. So God's law is perfect. God's law is perfect. And it's perfect, and it is and it's not grievous. Yeah, it's not grievous. Thank you. The water art. So the law is perfect, and it's not God's law is not meant to be grievous to your life. See, people will look at it like, oh man, you know, the fourth law, we got to keep the Sabbath day. But then carnally thinking, the way we come up in society is like, well, I can't do this, I can't do that. But it's not supposed to be grievous. It's supposed to make you perfect for him. It's supposed to keep you in line perfectly for him. But society has taught us to say, you know what, you're not going to be able, you usually wash clothes on that day, you usually do this, you usually do that, this is your day. And that's why Babylon is set up that way. Babylon is set up for you to break the Sabbath. Babylon is set up for you to sin. You know, Friday night goes into the eve of the Sabbath. That's the evening of the Sabbath. But most people get paid on Friday. So then now on Saturday, you profaning the Sabbath because you off that day, and now you're doing everything of your own. And then on Sunday, they left there for you to do Sunday worshiping their God. So Babylon is set up for you to sin. You know, so it doesn't matter to the other nationalities because they didn't get the law. But we got the law, so we supposed to be set apart. Go ahead.
But whoso looketh into the perfect law of liberty and continue therein, he being not a forgetful hearer, but a doer of the word, this man shall be blessed in his deed.
Go ahead.
If any man among you seem to be religious, and bridleth not his tongue, but deceiveth his own heart, this man's religion is vain.
So that's leaning on your own understanding. Go ahead.
Pure religion and undefiled, pure religion and undefiled before the Most High and the Father is this, to visit the fatherless and the widow in their affliction, and to keep himself unspotted from the world.
Unspotted from the world, and that's hard to do. You know, it's hard to do. It almost make you think like, well, I got to sit in the corner somewhere and just, you know, not go out into the world, not go out into society. But we know that's impossible. But it's really not hard to be unspotted, you know. But that's why you don't tread on Christ's grace. That's what the Christian churches, the modern day Christian churches teach. Like, Well, just go out and do your own will, because Christ nailed it all to the cross. That's false. I mean, he nailed it to the cross, but that the way they not rightfully divine the scriptures, and they just go out and willfully sin. So us with the mentality that we have now coming to the truth is that, you know, we're not going to make those same mistakes. You know, we try to be unspotted that you have, but we humans. We going to have bad days. We're going to have a bad week. We might have a bad month. You know what I'm saying? But we through the grace of Christ, we still got a chance to get it right. But you try to be as unspotted as possible, you know. Go ahead. Where we at now? We at the commentary. Go ahead.
Staying unspotted by sin is key in these last days. It is what separates us from those that are fit for destruction. It is the key focus of all the prophets.
So it's the key focus of all the prophets. So staying unspotted is something we should be striving for 24/7. That should be a constant mindset of ours, is how to be unspotted 24/7. You know, what I'm doing and what I'm saying, is it pleasing to Christ? And that's not an easy task all the time, but the more that you kill that old man within yourself, the more you fast and purge those things out, the easier it becomes. You can see certain things coming and dodge it. You can see certain temptations coming and dodge it. You can see certain things coming your way, like, okay, this is gonna be a test right here, and dodge it or overcome it. So yeah, staying unspotted 24/7 should be a constant thought of ours, you know. We're going to go into the next set of scriptures, which is in the Apocrypha, 2nd Esdras 1 and 4. 2nd Esdras 1 and 4 in the Apocrypha. So Esdras is the prophet Ezra in the Bible scriptures. It's the same prophet. It's just a different interpretation, different spelling. Second Esdras 1 and 4. Everybody there say Khan? Go ahead, Al.
2nd Esdras chapter 1, starting at verse 4. And the word of the Most High came unto me, saying, Go thy way, and shew my people their sinful deeds, and their children their wickedness which they have done against me, that they may tell their children's children.
That they may tell their children's children. So that means this is supposed to carry on for generations. So in this vision, the Most High is telling Ezra, go and tell these people their sins. Go and tell them their iniquities. It's like it said in the book of Isaiah. That's what we do when we street teach. Cry aloud. Show my people their transgressions. So most of our people don't even know that they committing sin, because it's become a norm. So the scriptures tell us to cry aloud. So he's telling Ezra, go and show these people their sins and transgressions. Go and tell them so they can tell their children and their children's children. And that's how you destroy generational curses. Because sometimes the children don't know, because the parents haven't taught them. You understand? That's why even with us coming into this truth, we're the generation of the people that the Most High put the awakening upon. So it's like in the book of Hosea, when they say, after 2 days will I revive you. We're the ones who've been revived. You know, you got neighbors, friends, family that can't see it, but his sheep hear his voice. So if we're the ones who've been revived, it's our job to blow the trumpet. It's our job to warn our people. It's our job to be rooted in this so we can teach them. That way we can teach our children, because even with our families, you hear a lot of time in the truth, we try to tell our parents or we try to tell our grandparents, and they don't respect it. And I understand that, because the awakening didn't come to them. It came to us. And to whom much is given, much is required. So with that being said, you might not be able to go and convince your mom or dad or your grandparents, because, you know, they didn't come in that 2 days, which is spoke of being revived. It's not to say, you know, the Most High may He have mercy on who He's gonna have mercy on, but we can't say, well, you know what, my grandmother been going to church 40, 50 years, and I tried to explain this to her, and she wasn't going for it. It's like, you're gonna be judged differently, because the awakening, it came in her lifetime, but the Most High done shed that understanding on her like he did on us, you know. So go ahead.
Verse 6, because the sins of their fathers are increased in them, and they have forgotten me, and have offered unto strange gods.
So he told Ezra, go and tell their children, because, you know, and these sins over generations have multiplied. Because if you got a wicked mother, then she has children, then the children are wicked, then they have children, then they're wicked, they're even more wicked. The wickedness is multiplying, and we can see that now in society. We'll see some little kids outside cursing out some grown adults, and then the parents come out and the kids don't shy away one bit, because the mother come out there and get ignorant. And then here it is, you got the grandma come out in her nightgown, and that's like 3 generations of ignorance right there. That's 3 generations of just, you know, like what's going on in that household. We see that daily. That's a norm. So to break these generational curses, you got to start teaching your children. That way they can, you know. So it's like, if we're teaching our children, it's like, oh, okay, now the children are going to keep the law. They're not going to eat shrimp, pork, crab, you know, catfish, all of those things. You know, you're going to get them away from getting vaccinated. You're going to get them away from profaning the Sabbath. So guess what? When they have children, they're going to teach them, and so on and so forth. So you was just the seed to break that generational curse. Go ahead.
Verse 7.
Verse 7.
Am not I even he that brought them out of the land of Egypt?
He said, I'm the one that brought y'all out of the land of Egypt. Go ahead.
From the house of bondage. But they have provoked me unto wrath and despised my counsel.
So we've provoked the Most High to wrath, to where he got to bring judgment on us. It's like, you know, when you were a kid and your parents tell you to go in the other room, and you in the other room with the door closed, and you in there doing all, you know, you making noises and stomping, and not knowing your parent on the other side of the door, like, man, if he make one more noise, I'm gonna go in there and break his neck. That's how the Most High is with us. We're provoking him. We're provoking him to you know, bring judgment on us. Go ahead.
Pull thou off then the hair of thy head, and cast all evil upon them, and they have not been obedient unto my law, but it is a rebellious people.
We are rebellious people. Israel is a rebellious, stiff-necked people. You can tell us something for our own good, and we still gonna be like, yeah, I'm still gonna do it. That's how we are. We are rebellious people. And it tells us we are lion children also, or rebellious lion children. Go ahead.
How long shall I forbear them? Unto whom have I done so much good? Many kings have I destroyed for their sakes. Pharaoh with his servants and all his power have I smitten down.
So he's reminding us, like, I'm the God that brought y'all out of Egypt. I'm the God. I'm the God who took down the Pharaoh and his empire. I'm the God that when your back was against the Red Sea and Pharaoh was coming to destroy you, the one that let you walk across on dry ground. So he's reminding us, like, man, haven't you seen what I've done for you? Haven't you seen how I took down Pharaoh? Go ahead.
All the nations have I destroyed before them, and in the east I have scattered the people of 2 provinces, even of Tyrese and Sidon.
So Tyrese and Zidon, which is Tyre and Zidon mentioned in Joel 3. So he's reminding us, like, all these nations I done destroyed before you. So it's no question as to who your God is. All these empires and these strongholds that came against you, I took them out for you. It's like I did that for you. I delivered you from that situation. So this is all about generations, and he's trying to tell us to, you know, follow his law and pass this down to your children, or you're going to pass down curses to them. And look at us now. We the result of the curses. We bring it out all the time, how we go into the curses in Deuteronomy 28 that our forefathers didn't keep. And look at us. We're the result of those curses. You know, we're walking testimonies of that. You know, all those scriptures in that part, the curse part of Deuteronomy 28, all of us can attest to that. Go to the next commentary.
We must remember the mistakes of the past so that we don't have to repeat them. We are very proud to have so many brothers and sisters with zeal toward learning about the Messiah, but zeal and learning is different from action. As a result of that knowledge.
So as a result of that knowledge, so it says we must remember the mistakes of the past. So in Romans it tells us these things were written for a time for our benefit. So the scriptures are just that. So people always look at it like, why y'all read out the Bible? And that's those things was written aforetime for our benefit, for us to learn from. We're gonna go to Jeremiah 2:11. Jeremiah 2:11. So we gotta keep that in mind, not to look back. Like it's not worth it. So for those who just coming in, the title of this lesson is Don't Look Back Now, We're Almost There. Don't look back now, we're almost there. So this is speaking of how we need to endure. So we're going to Jeremiah 2:11. So nothing in this world, when you receive this truth, is worth relinquishing for anything, you know, because it's a greater reward coming. Jeremiah 2:11, let's go.
Jeremiah chapter 2, verse 11. Hath the nation changed their gods, which are yet no gods?
So it's being asked, have the nation changed their gods? So it's gods with a lowercase g if you look at that. Because we know there are many gods in the earth, you know, but it's only one true God. That's the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So it's saying, have a nation changed their gods, which are yet no gods? So Allah and all of those, Buddha and all of those gods, that the other nations that are Gentile nations that the Most High didn't give the law to, that's their God. But you'll see our people, the children of Israel, dealing with that more than they do, you know. So those are foolish gods. Those are not gods. Go ahead.
But my people have changed their glory for that which doeth not profit.
So those guys profit us nothing. Go ahead.
Verse 12. Be astonished, O ye heavens, at this, and be horribly afraid. Be ye very desolate, said the Most High. For my people have committed two evils. They have forsaken me, the fountain of living waters.
So the Most High saying we committed two evils. We forsook him. Go ahead.
The fountain of living waters, and hewed them out a cistern, broken cistern that can hold no water.
So we put stock into cisterns, which are like vases, and they're broken vases. They're vases with holes or cracks in them anyway, so they can't hold no water or anything, so they have no value anyway. So we put our trust, we forsook the God of Abraham and Isaac and Jacob for worthless gods. We sought another glory when our reward from him is the kingdom to come. But we went off we knew that and went off to something else. We knew if we stay on this path right here, what's going to be bestowed to us is a great reward that can't be explained, but yet and still, I just got to see what's over here. I got to see what this Buddha is about. I got to see how much luck this brings me. I got to see, like, okay, what am I going to benefit from this? And you see this with our people all the time. I was just pointing out the other day how LeBron James had on what kind of necklace was that? Like a Buddhist, a Kabbalah. He had on a Kabbalah necklace. And it's crazy because Kyrie Irving, I noticed a couple of years ago, he had it tattooed on himself. Now I see like LeBron got it on. It's like, that's not your God, bro. That's not your God. You know, and he probably got handlers or whatever that coerced him into doing these things, or this is how you gain success. This is how you get luck. This is how you live prosperous. You know, even back when the Tina Turner movie came out, what's love got to do with it? And she was doing the chanting. What was that? What religion was that? Buddha, yeah. A Hindu Buddha, whichever one it is. A lot of women started going into that because that's how impressionable we are. That's how impressionable Israel is. We'll see this in a movie and then be like, you know what, I'm gonna do that. Like, that's not your God. That's not your God. So, you know, we got to keep these things in mind, because we strayed away from we sought a God that, not our God, and traded and cashed in our a worthless reward for when the reward that's to come is greater than anything that we can imagine. You know, but that's what, like I said earlier, that's what we can't, we want something now, you know. We want everything right now. It's like if you ask people, would you rather, let's say, would you rather receive $100 billion right now, or would you rather just work for the kingdom to come? 9 times more than not, people are gonna say, you know what, give me the 100 billion right now, because we don't want anything that's we don't want to put off, and that's our carnal mindset. That's the way society has taught us. Go with the next commentary. Oh yeah, one more. Oh yeah, okay, yeah. Go to, we had Jeremiah 2:14.
Jeremiah 2:14. Is Israel a servant? Is he a homeborn slave? Why is he spoiled?
So Jeremiah is saying, is Israel a servant? Question mark. Is he a homeborn slave? You know why? Because all we've done since the Most High have chosen us to be a special people is going in and out of captivity. In and out of captivity. So guess what? America is our last captivity. After this, we're not going into captivity anymore. After this, we're going to either go into the kingdom or you're going to burn in Hades forever. So Jeremiah said, man, like, that's all we've done was go into captivity. With the Assyrians, with the Babylonians, with the Egyptians, with the Romans, with, you know, so on and so forth. That's all Israel does. So when we got over here to America, what is our 7th captivity? 7th or 8th captivity? It's like, we got over here to America, it's like, people are like, yeah, we went through slavery, but not realizing we went through it 6, 7 times prior to that. This is something we've always done. You know, so Jeremiah is saying, is Israel a slave? Why is he spoiled? Is he a homeborn slave? Is that all we supposed to do, is be servants to everybody else? But the scriptures tell us that the earth was created for the Israelites. Deuteronomy 7:6 tells us we're supposed to be above all people. But we don't see that. But that's coming. That's the reward that's coming, because, you know, Esau is the end of the world. So we know Rome, in a sense, those who know their precepts and understand prophecy, Rome is ruling now. So Rome, this is our last slavery. Let's go to the next commentary.
We must stay inspired and not become complacent and accepting of this wicked world. Are we slaves, or are we destined for great authority? The truth is that we were never meant to serve, and now more than ever, we must remember that and stop bowing our necks to Satan's kingdom and stand in the righteous pride for the Father's kingdom. So we got to stand for the Father's kingdom to come. We're going to go to the next set of scriptures, 2nd Esdras, back in the Apocrypha, 2:42. 2nd Esdras 2:42. So in all actuality, we were never meant to serve. We were never meant to be slaves. We were never meant to be servants. So that's the reality of things. We were meant to rule over people. But if you look at us, that's hard to imagine. That's hard to fathom. That's hard to understand and believe, like, man, how are we going to rule over anybody? You know, if you look at our present day situation, you wouldn't think that we were fit to be kings. You won't think that we was ever fit to be kings. But when you're among the body, when you're among the church, and you see the righteous acts of the church, like for instance, we go to Passover, you see that shimmer in everybody's eye and be like, yeah, I see it. I see it. I see how we are royal people. You don't see that, you know, going down 79th Street. You don't see that in your neighborhoods, but that's the glorious thing about coming together for the Most High Holy Days. You know, everybody, you know, majority of the people in this room, I've seen that Passover, and we look regal. We look royal. It's like, and you see your brothers and sisters, knowing that your brothers and sisters in Christ, and you can see it. It's a glimpse of like, man, this is how, it's for a remnant. It's for a remnant of people. And that's like a dress rehearsal for what the kingdom is to come. It's like, I see it. The first Passover I went to, I seen it clear as day. I was like, this is who we supposed to be right here. And it always stuck in my mind. And I always thought about that, like,
just get away from the mindset of how you see our people in day-to-day activities in the inner city and so on and so forth, or how they display us on TV. This is how we're supposed to be. And I love that, and I cherish that, and I always, and society will look at it like, oh, so you think y'all you better than everybody, or you think y'all, that's the mindset they all try to place you in. It's like, what's wrong with trying to be righteous? What's wrong with being righteous? What's wrong with being regal? That's what we're supposed to be. So when we keep these holy days, we see glimpses of that with our people, and I know brothers and sisters feel that. Let's get 2 Esdras 2 and 42.
2 Esdras chapter 2, verse 42. I, Ezra, saw upon Mount Zion a great people, whom I could not number, and they all praise the Most High with songs.
So this is Esdras having a vision. Go ahead.
And in the midst of them there was a young man of a high stature, taller than all the rest.
So it's a young man amongst all this multitude of people of high stature, taller than all the rest. Go ahead.
And upon every one of their heads he set crowns. He set crowns, and was more exalted, which I marveled at greatly.
Which he marveled at greatly. So this man is setting crowns on heads, and he's taller than all the rest. And he's taller than all the rest for one reason, because the multitude are kneeling, and he's going through the crowd, giving them their crown. That's our King, Christ YASHIYA. That's Christ. He's passing out that reward. So, and they tell us like the elder said before, like everything that we're going through in captivity, when we make it into the kingdom, they say we won't even be able to think of all the persecution we went through. We won't even be able to think of all the hurt that we got. We won't even be able to think of all the anguish that we went through. That won't even be in our mindset. So no matter, if you living righteously, no matter what they do to us right now, it's going to be well worth it, because you're going to get to a point where you won't even remember the turmoil that we went through. So why go through turmoil right now just to end up with fire and worms in hell? Now you're reliving that every minute, every second of your life. So you just went through in the world right now, you'll go through a double hell. Go ahead, I just want to point that out. Go ahead.
Verse 44. So I asked the angel and said, Sir, what are these? He answered and said unto me, These be they that have put off the mortal clothing and put on the immortal.
So these are they. So he's asking the angel, Sir, who are these people? And he said, what? Go again.
These be they that have put off the mortal clothing and put on the immortal.
They put off the mortal clothing, which is our mortal bodies now, and they've been transformed into immortality. Because we know in that realm that flesh can't exist. So that's a similitude of us killing our flesh now. You got to overcome the things that are your issues. You got to overcome the things that's ailing you. You got to overcome the things that's causing you to stumble. You kill that flesh now because you want to be as righteous and spiritual as possible. But he's saying, who are these people? And he's saying, these are the ones who put off the carnal flesh. Go ahead.
And have confessed the name of the Most High. Now they crowned and receive palms.
Now we're receiving palms in our hands from Christ YASHIYA. Go ahead.
Then said I unto the angel, What young person is this that crowned them, and giveth them palms in their hands?
Mm-hmm.
So he answered and said unto me, It is the Son of the Most High.
This is the Son of the Most High, Christ. Go ahead.
Whom they have confessed in the world.
So who we confess in the world now. So if we're confessing him now, and we're confessing him also by our daily lives and living. So somebody can say, man, that's a righteous brother, that's a righteous sister. We're confessing that now. Go ahead.
Then began I greatly to commend them that stood so stiffly for the name of the Most High.
Stood so stiffly for the name of the Most High. So that's what we're doing now. When we keeping the law and we living righteous, that's what we're doing. We're living stiffly. Not trying not to waver, you know, and that's something we all got to accomplish. You got to be stiff for the Most High. When you come into this truth, it's going to be all type of things that's going to, because now you really got to go to work, because now you're not part of Satan's club no more. So you got to be rooted and grounded in this, as I said in the lesson before that I did. You got to be girded up. You got to be rooted. And if you're not, you're gonna be wavering. So now you got to stand stiffly. Now it can't be. And we hear it every year, all the time. You know, my family, they doing Christmas, and you know, I'm thinking about just going. Like, no, just say no. Just don't go. You're a grown individual. Well, my family not gonna understand. Well, they not gonna understand because they not set apart. They didn't hear that voice. They you know. So just you gotta, you know. But a lot of times we'll concede because, oh, it's my family and da 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 da. Man, you'll be more fruitful being set apart and not participating, to where somebody in your family gonna notice and come and say, hey, I noticed you won that Big Mom's for Christmas. What's going on? Well, this is what I believe. This is what the law says. This is what I stand for now. You know, instead of conceding, and then now you're there, now you're gonna feel bad, and then now they never know that how you were shining your light anyway, because you one of them. So every year these things come up where it's like, you know what, man, bro, I'm thinking, man, I think just to be on the side of peace, I'ma just go, man, because my family gonna act like, nah, bro, nah, sis, don't even do it. It's not, and you know, the longer you in there, in this walk, the easier it becomes. The easier it becomes. Like, most of the times, I don't even know when holiday is coming up until somebody say something. Then I'll be like, oh man, I hope I got the day off that day. You know what I'm saying? And that's just how it is in this walk. Like, you know, it becomes second nature. Go ahead.
Verse 48, then the angel said unto me, go thy way, and tell my people what manner of things and how great wonders of the Most High thy power thou hast seen.
So now Ezra's job was to go out and be a prophet. Now his job was to go out and confess this to the people. This is what I seen in the vision. The Most High allowed Ezra to see into a glimpse into that. Like, this is the reward that's in store. Like, if you knew what was in store for you, you know, you would cut out all the nonsense if we know. But in a sense, we do know from testimonies like this. In a sense, we do know from the Apocalypse of Paul, getting a glimpse into heaven. And then not only that, describing thoroughly what's going on in hell. So we still able to get these, like I said, these things was written aforetime for our benefit. So we able to get some insight on that. So that should make us buckle down even more and be like, you know what, I'm a clean true to this. Let's keep it moving. Let's go to the next commentary.
Ezra gave a message of repentance, but he also gave them a message of reward for great diligence in keeping the Father's commandments. There will be a reward for those who stand firm for the Father's message and uphold his name above all names. We must believe. Let's look at an example what he saw as a reward.
So now we're going to look at some of the examples of the rewards. We still in Esdras. We're going 2 and 15, same chapter. Second Esdras 2 and 15, to look at some of the rewards that's going to be bestowed upon us. Because that's Israel. We like to know what we're going to get out of this. You know what I'm saying? We don't like guessing games and all this. It's like, tell me what I'm getting, you know. So, but it just said in the commentary, for those who stand firm for the Father's message. And for the most part, that's what we do, you know, in the church. We stand firm, you know, it's needed. You know, a lot of people be like, man, you know, you so serious about this. You don't really waver. I'm being firm. I'm just doing what the Father wanted. And it's like, you know, what's wrong with that? It's like, it's taboo now to live righteous. You know, and I say to people all the time, like, man, I'm just trying not to go to hell. I'm just trying to make it into the kingdom. It's like, what's, you know, like, man, okay, this is what you thinking about all the time. This is what you want to talk about all the time. But what I just read earlier, like, we got to keep a constant mindset 24/7 to stay on the path. Our constant mindset should be like, okay, am I pleasing Christ? Now, yeah, we human, we fail at that. But like I say, it's through his grace, it's a chance to get right at times. We're going to 2 Ezra 2 and 15. Let's go.
2 Ezra chapter 2 and 15. Mother, embrace thy children and bring them up with gladness. Make their feet as pillar, as fast as pillar. For I have chosen thee, said the Most High.
So the Most High want to use you and your children. He want to pass that down pass down righteousness throughout generations. Go ahead.
And those that be dead will I raise up again from their places and bring them out of the graves. For I have known my name in Israel.
Continue.
Fear not, thou mother of the children, for I have chosen thee, said the Most High. For thy help will I send my servant Isaiah and Jeremiah, after whose counsel I have sanctified and prepared for thee 12 trees laden with diverse fruits.
So 12 trees laden with diverse fruits. So he said, these are my servants I sent this message to, in the book of Isaiah and Jeremiah in the Old Testament, two prophets that's very profound in the Old Testament. So it's speaking of the tree of life that's mentioned in the book of Revelations, that, once we make it to the kingdom, we're going to eat from this tree once a year, and the Gentiles also. So the children of Israel that endure and make it for this reward, and the Gentiles that cling to the nations of Israel, the righteous Gentiles, they'll also eat from this tree of life. So it'll be 12 trees with 12 diverse fruits that it tells you where we'll eat from once a year, and that for during the 1,000-year reign of the kingdom. Go ahead.
Verse 19. And as many fountains flow with milk and honey, and 7 mighty mountains, whereupon there grow roses and lilies, whereby I will fill thy children with joy.
So like I said, this will be a time we'll be filled with joy. We won't remember none of the anguish that we went through now. So, but a lot of people can't deal with persecution. A lot of people, will tap out just because they're threatened, or that person hollered at me, or I was going to spread the gospel, but then I was like, man, like you got to have tougher skin than that. You got to be girded up. You got to have, and like the elders say, you got to have thick skin in this walk. You really do, because it's going to get to a point where it's going to be illegal to read the Bible. It's going to be illegal to teach the gospel. And what you going to do? Say, hey man, that's the law, so, I got to roll with that. Like, no, Paul and the disciples were persecuted. So we to be martyrs just like them. But society has programmed us to be like, that's foolish. You're gonna lose your life over something when you can just concede and go with that's what Babylon wants you to do. You know what I'm saying? And we deal with that every day. Go ahead. We at the next commentary.
Now those 7 mountains are mentioned in the book of Enoch and are said to be made of precious stones. The Most High allowed his word through his prophets, such as Isaiah and Jeremiah, to reprove our ways, so that we can give rewards to those who love him. So that he can give rewards to those who love him. We must look at the bigger picture and the love of the Father for loving enough us to offer us such promises after living sinful lives. Let's see some more examples.
So after living a sinful life, which we all to put down in this walk, now you're on a righteous path, and like I said, you want to endure in this and receive your reward. And the title of the lesson, like I said, is Don't Look Back Now. What is it? Don't look back now, we're almost there. So, like, what gain would you have, what sense would it make to start on this righteous path? And it happens, just to go back into the world. That's something we got to convince ourselves and know that, I'm not going back to my vomit. And this is something that a lot of people don't hurdle, they don't get over. you know, the things that they desire, they concede to, and they end up going back to. And then, you know, we see it in this walk all the time. Like, man, what happened to such and such? I don't know, man. Ain't nobody heard from him. And like, man, that was a good brother. That was a good sister. That was the, you know. So I try to live my life to not be like that, because it's when I came to know we was the people, it was like a light bulb went off. It was like, this is what I waited my whole life for. I knew it was something, and I just couldn't put my finger on it. And now that I'm 40 years old, it done came to me. And I, you know, so. And I felt like I owed it to the Most High. Obviously I did, but it just became a thing where it's like, okay, I have to endure. I can't go back to the person I was. I can't be strayed away from this. You know, I'm a slave to this, like Paul said, through the ups and downs, the good and bad, like, and you just gotta be thankful, because when you just look out into society, most people have no clue. It's like when you're dealing with us, we all speak the same language. But I also understand from their perspective how they don't see it, how they don't get it. You know, they'll get a chance, but it's like, I understand how people are just available, continue to operate day to day, and they just don't get it. And the scriptures tell us two-thirds are going to be lost. And then only 10% after that will remain. So those 2/3 have to come from somewhere. So that's why when you come to this understanding, it's very, for your soul salvation, you have to cling to it. And then through the Spirit of the Most High, we pray that others cling to you and get the understanding, because this awakening is still young. You know, I'm only 3 years in the truth, so I'm like a 3-year-old. You know what I'm saying? Some people 5 years, some people 6 years, so on and so forth. So when you 5, 6, 7 years old, you still a child. So that's how I look at myself. I'm 3 years old. You know, my baptism was a couple of years ago, so that was my new birthday. You know, so really I'm like 3 years old. You know, so that's how we ought to look at it. Where we at? We're gonna go to Revelations 22:1. 22:1. So we got to keep in mind that it's a bigger picture coming, and that bigger picture that you know is coming, because you understand the scriptures and understand you can't let nobody else, you can't let no family members, you can't let your task at your job or whatever's your livelihood, you know, coerce you from their reward. Some things you're gonna have to give up. You might have a job that's, you know, causing you to fall in iniquity. Like, I can't keep this job, man. It's just like, you know, this is causing me to sin. You know, no matter what job it is, you know. So you got to relinquish that, you know. And the Most High got something greater for you. Remember, Job lost everything. Go ahead. Revelation 22:1.
Revelation chapter 22, verse 1. And he showed me a pure river of water of life, clear as crystal, proceeding out of the throne of the Most High and of the Lamb. In the midst of the street of it, and on either side of the river, was there the tree of life, which bare 12 manner of fruits, and yielded her fruits every month, and leaving off the tree,
and leaves of the tree, whereof the healing of the nations.
And there shall be no more curse, but the throne of the Most High and of the Lamb shall be in it, and his servant shall serve him.
So this in the kingdom, there's no more sickness, it's nothing but happiness. Everybody's thriving. It's like Babylon is destroyed, the world is destroyed, so on and so forth. It's like, man, we made it. Go ahead.
And they shall see his face, and his name shall be in their foreheads.
Go ahead.
And there shall be no more night there, and they need no candle, neither light of the sun, for the Most High power giveth them light.
So there'll be no more sun. There'll be no more need for the sun. Just like I said earlier, the sun is an angel. So when Christ returns, the sun, that angel, he's going to take him off his duty. You know, you're done. But in the kingdom, it's going to be no more light. It's not going to be any more luminaries or light in the sense of the Most High is going to make. It's going to be 24-hour, well, not 24 hours, but it'll be straight daylight. It'll be straight sunshine. Just go ahead. It'll just be no need for darkness. Go ahead.
And there shall reign forever and ever. And he said unto me, these sayings are faithful and true. And the Most High power of the holy prophets sent his angel to show unto his servants the things which must shortly be done. Behold, I come quickly. Blessed is he that keepeth the saying of the prophecy of this book.
So blessed are those who keep the prophecy of this book and live toward that. So, oftentimes we think of the doom and gloom and the dark mysteries of the scriptures, but we don't often give much thought to the reward that's coming. And like I said, in here, they're giving glimpses of what, this kingdom is going to be like. I know, like me, myself, I've been some places, and it's just been, like, magnificent. Like, the scenery. I've been to resorts where it's like, man, I remember thinking, like, this, like a little slice of heaven. Like, it's marble everywhere. No matter where you walk, it's marble. You got exotic birds walking across the garden in this resort, and you got your you go into the pool or to the beach, and it's like if you like do like this, you'll think you was in heaven. But the scriptures say, eyes have not seen and ears have not heard the reward that's the kingdom that's to come for us. We can't even fathom. You can't even begin to understand how immaculate this kingdom is going to be. You can't even, like, we can't even get it in our head. So if you could just see something in the physical now that's just sprawling with like, sometimes I can't even believe man built that. I'm like, man, they really created this place? This is like paradise. So I'll be like, man, I can't even believe somebody created this. So if how much more is the kingdom going to be? You understand? So let's get the next set of scriptures. Oh, commentary, go ahead.
Blessed are those that uphold these warnings and blessings from the Most High, and live in righteousness to teach others his ways. Christ is coming soon, so be ready.
So we're to teach others by what? Being the light. Like I said earlier, if we keep the commandments, we perfect in the eyesight of God. And you'll have a right to that tree of life. If not, you'll be, there's no point in going through this, being in this walk, getting this understanding, knowing that we're in the truth, and then next thing you know, we damned with the sinners in hell. It's like, man, it's like we went through all of that just to end up down here anyway. So that's why we got to stay on the righteous path. And it tells us in the scriptures, it's the book of, it's like, is it Jubilees, where it's like, when you make it into the kingdom, on every Sabbath, it's going to be sort of like a field trip. You're going to go visit the souls that's in hell. Isaiah 65, wow. So in Isaiah 65, it tells us that every Sabbath, you make it to the kingdom, all the people who didn't, and we know in the book of Luke that, it's a gulf fixed in between. So the people in hell going to actually be able to see the people that's in the kingdom, and the people in the kingdom going to be able to see the souls that's in hell. So Isaiah 65 tells us, let's get that real quick. It tells us how it'll be something like a field trip. If you're in the kingdom, okay, every Sabbath we're going to see the souls. So you're going to see the people you try to tell that this was the truth.
Isaiah 66 and 23.
Let's go to Isaiah 66 and 23. 22. But you're going to be able to see them, and they're going to be able to see you. And they're going to be like, man, there go Isaiah, who was was telling me there was the truth, Most High will. And like, man, I've seen him at a gas station one time, and he was ministering to me and telling me how, we was the children of Israel, and you're going to see them, they're going to see you, you're going to know who they are, they're going to know who you are, you're going to see your family there, you're going to see your neighbor, you're going to see your boss, you're going to see everybody everybody you was trying to be that light to. So I keep in mind, like, I don't want to be over there like, oh man, I was with y'all, you know what I'm saying? And I didn't make it, throw me some water, you know? I don't want to be that, you know? So, you know, let's get that though. Isaiah 66.
And the golf fix you was talking about is Luke 16.
Luke 16, correct. So yeah, when the scriptures tell us that it's a gulf fix between hell and the kingdom, and it's impossible to cross. And if you're on one side, you can look over to the other side. You know what I'm saying? And this was describing a rich man and Lazarus in that situation. But let's get this in Isaiah 66. Bring that out real quick. 22.
Yeah. Isaiah 66 and 22. For as the new heaven and the new earth, which I will make, shall remain before me, said the Most High, so shall your seed and your name remain.
Go ahead.
And it shall come to pass that from one new moon to another, from one Sabbath to another,
From one Sabbath to another, like I said, go ahead.
shall all flesh come to worship before me, said the Most High. And they shall go forth and look upon the carcasses of the men that have transgressed against me, and their worms shall not die, neither shall their fire be quenched, and there shall be an abhorring unto all flesh.
So these people gonna be in torments forever. They're gonna be burning forever, fire, worms, constantly. Whatever you died in, whatever sickness you died in, whatever was ailing you is gonna constantly be stinking you, constantly be consciously burning your soul. So your body, your flesh, that's just the flesh. It's just a shell. But your spirit lives forever. So this is constantly going to be going on. So we're going to go and visit those souls. You're going to see those loved ones. You're going to see those people that didn't make it. They're going to see you with that crown on and be like, wow, you know, and that's what's crazy about us as the people. It's like, you know, we don't get anything, we don't get understanding until it hit us. I know a lot of people always say, like I was saying, we practice performing the righteous acts now, keeping the holy days, keeping the Sabbath, keeping the dietary law, being civil, all of these things. We do those things, you know, to the best of our ability. But certain things, I hear a lot of people be like, you know, when they get that drastic, then I do that. Now, like I said, it's like a dress rehearsal. They be like, well, I ain't gonna do that, but if it get that bad, then, and just being in the wilderness, sometimes you see it. You know, we gotta get away from, we still got electricity while we out there. You know, and some people just be thinking, well, when we get in the wilderness, then I'll really be in the thicket of it and be in the wilderness. Like, well, how you know what you can handle if you haven't even, you know what I'm saying, practiced it. So that's why keeping the righteous acts matter now. You know, because we all want that reward. We all want to, you know, be able to endure it until the end and receive that reward. Like I said, everything that we're going through, everything that we ever went through, our people being persecuted, raped, robbed, and beaten, slavery, everything that we're going through that the scriptures mention of that's a curse, we won't even remember it in the kingdom. You won't be, it's well worth it. So that's why I say don't look back now. So to even contemplate being in this walk, you got to thank the Most High for even taking the scales off your eyes to even having eyes and ears to see and hear. And to say, you know what, this is the path I want to go down. Because it's like this, in the world, everybody can feel something is about to happen. Everybody can, it's like taking the temperature every day. Every day you wake up, it's almost like, man, it's, you know, what happened? What's going to happen? It's like everybody knows something about to happen, but guess how we are? We rather wait and then it happen and go down. When it's like you're not even being proactive. You're not even getting your soul salvation in check. You're not even thinking like, okay, you know, I know something about to happen, but, you know, I'll wait and see what, that's the type of people we are. You know, and it's sad, you know, because when it goes down, we're gonna automatically expect, you know, What the government gonna do? They gotta get this straight. Look at Katrina when it happened. They was getting flooded and flooded for years. Like, oh, this is normal, this is normal, this is normal. Then next thing you know, now you asking your oppressor for a hand up. Y'all gotta help us, y'all gotta this. They don't have to. You think they do, but they don't have to. There's gonna come a time when the calamities start happening, and then the church, as a church family and as a body, we're gonna be moving as one unit. And when these calamities start happening, stuff start hitting the fan. You know what? Let me call Zion, my neighbor. He was an Israelite, and Zion phone ain't gonna be working. Zion phone he ain't gonna answer his phone. Or if he do, he gonna be like, yeah, you know, it's going down in America, ain't it? They gonna be like, where you at? He gonna be like, I'm in such and such. I'm finna go out here and milk this cow. But we can't even think like that because that's backwards to us to say, I'm gonna relinquish what I got to become a pilgrim. That's what the scriptures tell you to do. They say flee from one city to the next. Look at what the Israelites had to do when they came out of Egypt. And guess what they was doing? They was complaining. Oh, we could have stayed in Egypt. Did y'all not just see what the Most High did with Pharaoh? But that's how we are. Then here it is, the Most High raining down manna from heaven, angels' food for them to eat, and quail, but it's like never enough. We finna go under the rod and through that persecution and through the wilderness again. People don't see it though. So you're gonna be reaching out to people, man, this is going down. You know what, that brother told me this was gonna happen. Let me call him. It's gonna be like, man, he ain't picking up, you know what I'm saying? That's what it's gonna be. And that's where we headed to. This is a real thing. You know, all the prophecies are lined up. If you look at the news and those who read these scriptures, we understand this. They on the news talking about North Korea, this and what's the other place? Russia and North Korea, this and that. When we know the scriptures tell us it's gonna be the Persian Medes, it's gonna be Iran. So they be talking about North Korea, we like, yeah, okay. And everybody like, man, you see North Korea? I'm like, man, I ain't gonna do nothing. Well, how you know? Because I know the prophecy. I know I understand the scriptures. It tell you the Iran. Now, guess what? Every day, they flirting with Iran. You see what happened last week? It was something about a tanker or something. Like, these are the prophecies. And those who can see, we like, yeah, it's about to go down. But, you know, just because we among society, people looking at it like you don't have a clue. But I got a clue. But you don't want to hear it. You know what I'm saying? You know, we was talking to some brothers last week, and they was just so engulfed, you could just tell it hit them right away. They was writing down notes and everything, and the wife was looking like, okay, man. And I was telling them like, that's not normal. Like that's very rare that you get people to receive it like that, and they just totally got it right away. And right before class started, brother hit me like, hey, they want to talk to us again. They want to see what this is all about. And they was deep into something else. But I was like, them the sheep that hear his voice. Them the sheep that be like, that's why we teach this gospel. That's why we go out into the highways. Those are the people we trying to reach. Trying to tell your uncle or somebody or your coworker 1,800 times, you just have to dust your feet of them. Like, okay, I use my second admonition with them. I'm not finna keep telling you. So those are the ones we trying to reach. Those are the ones that the Most High in Christ wants you to get. You see what I'm saying? Because he like, I called them to do this before time started. That's one of mine right there. That's one of mine over there. And then you over here with your coworker or somebody that you love or somebody, you know what I'm saying, trying to drill it in them. It's like, it's not. I want him over there. I want her over there. I want them over there. That little kid right there, he gonna bring 1,000. He gonna bring 5,000. You know, so on and so forth. You hear something I'm saying?
Oh yeah, about the thing with them worrying about the countries taking over. Now the new thing is everybody's worrying about China, because China's buying up everything, and China is actually their plans because they got spies caught, you know, here in the United States about how they plan on to take over America and basically run the world. But when people talk about that, I'm like, okay. Because I know the scripture said Esau's the end of the world, not China.
Exactly.
So I'm looking like, man, where do I invest? But hey, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, follow the scriptures, we'll be all right.
Yeah, follow the scriptures, we'll be all right. I mean, that's the roadmap. That's the, you know, and it's not for everybody to get, but the ones who get it, you're to cling to them. That's how the Gentiles are going to cling to us, because it's going to be Gentiles that want to live, that's going to be our servants and want to righteously cling to us, and we're going to treat them, you know, fair. And, you know, it's not going to be like they did us. That's what we have to, you know, bestow, and that's what we have to, you know, look forward to, because that's the reward that's coming. Nothing in this world is worth relinquishing the reward that we on the path for. We got to make sure our name stay written in the book of life and stay on that path. You know, we have to endure, you know, and take as many with us as we can in the sense of bringing light to, you know, and let's get this kingdom, you know. That's what it's about. So, we're going to get this next commentary and wrap it up.
Is it 14? Peace and love is on its way. To obtain eternity, you must sacrifice that which is corruptible, because it will not last. Stay positive and prayed up. We love you all. Shalom.
Shalom. Shalom. May the Most High add a blessing to the hearers and the doers of His word. Right now, anybody got any questions? Anything you got a question about we went over, or any questions, period? Or comments? Sister right there.
I have a question, and I wouldn't say it's not related to the topic, but it just came to my head. So, a couple classes ago, Deacon said that a child under a righteous family will be sent to heaven, and if they're not under a righteous family, like if a young child dies, then they'll be saved in heaven, and if they're not in a righteous family, then they will also be saved. But I'm wondering, like, if a young child passes, then will they be saved? And the family, they're not righteous, but over time they grow to be righteous. What will that child be cherished?
Wait, so you say if a child grows up in a family and the family isn't righteous, but he or she grows to be righteous?
No, if a child passes
Oh.
and the family, they weren't righteous at that time, but they grow to be righteous.
Well, in a sense, I think it depends on the child, and maybe if they at the age of accountability also. You know, that's another thing. You know, scriptures tell you age of accountability is 12. It's 12, right? Yeah. But, you know, the scriptures also say that the Most High will have mercy on whom He will have mercy on. You know, so a child is pretty much innocent. You know, but at the same time, children nowadays, and we come up under the curses, and even though some children are children, they do know right from wrong. And, you know, so that's like a gray shaded area, I guess, you know.
Under what circumstance?
Yeah, considering the circumstance. So, you know, but the Most High will have mercy on whom He will have mercy on. But, yeah, that's like a gray shaded area. So, but, you know.
That's in the spirit realm.
Yeah, they're in the spirit realm. So, you know, pray that you always, while somebody pass over, always pray the Most High have mercy on their soul, because none of us have ever been over there, but we know glimpse of, we know what typically goes on, you know, and you know, that's why the word, we have to be, that's why I was saying earlier about the us just passing and killing that generational curse, you know, because most of our children don't start being righteous or following righteous acts until they get a grown up themselves, and they decide whether they're going to start going to church or not, you know. You know, I grew up in with my mom taking me to church all the time, but I mean, I was one that was under the curse as well. So I was ready to do mischievousness whenever I felt like it. You know, I didn't want to live righteous. You know, so hopefully that helps out a little bit. Any other comments or questions? Go ahead.
You were talking about how you have to practice the righteous act. It also talks about it in Judges 5 and 11. And I want to go to Psalms 19 and 7 and read. It said, "The law of the Most High is perfect, converting the soul. The testimony of the Most High is sure and making wise the simple." So, you know, when, like a lot of us, when we got this truth, you know, when we can pretty much, when we say we drop those sins we're dealing with, it's because we grafted the law back into our life.
Correct.
You know, and this scripture here proves how, you know, how it converts your soul back into, you know, the place it needs to be. The law does.
Mm-hmm.
That's all that's.
Yeah, and that's very key. And it says the law of the Lord is perfect, converting the soul. So when you start following the law, you start wanting to, you know, do all these righteous acts, keeping the holy days. Like I said, we don't even, you know, really even know when these pagan days come up. And truth be told, we got just as many holy days as they have holidays. Every time we look up, we like, oh, we got a feast for this, we got a feast for that. You know what I'm saying? You know, and we love it, you know, and then it's like the world got their thing going on, and we set apart. You know, we are in the world, but we're not of the world, you know. It's like we have to operate with these people, but it's like, you know, we're not looking at it like we better than them. We just trying to live righteous. And if the Most High say leaving the pagan holidays alone is wicked, and leaving them alone makes you more righteous toward Him, I'm all for that. Anybody else? All right, with that, we'll say shalom.
Really breaks my heart. Cause we've been lied to, misled for years, calling out to the Most High on this trail of tears.